Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I build stuff. Um, Lego kits, Gunpla, you know, that sort of thing. I want to say hello. Let's get our business out of the way. One, Harold, H-Bomb, thank you for hosting the stream. Two, Mr. Bob, you wrote hi in the chat with a bunch of question marks. Hi, hello. We throw that in there. I threw a Bear Cave emote there in the chat. If you're a subscriber, you can do that. Road just said, yo, Pat. Yo, back at you. Thanks for joining me. We're going to see if a few more of you want to pop in before we start building. I know that there are other streams you could be watching tonight. Uh, Road says that you know what you also build, Pat, a nice community. And that, you know what? I can't take credit for it, but I am very thankful for it. Y'all are excellent to each other, to me. Um, Been streaming for over a year. We've banned 4 people out of chat, and they were random people coming in to make trouble. They were not people who were, avid watchers that we were like, hey, you're garbage. No trash on this show. Just really cool people. Uh, Harold, just subscribed with tier 1. It's 8 months, 1 month away from sub baby. Yes, you made that joke. Mr. Bob's here. Asmo's here. Harold's here. Harold, thank you so much for the resub. I really do appreciate it. A couple of y'all did the resub because we dropped below 20 yesterday and we're back up above 20. Lashbrook is here. This is a quality viewers tonight. I'm very happy about that because there's some other stuff going on. So what I might do is when I'm done streaming, I might host a stream. If Jared Ray is still streaming after we're done, I don't know if he is or not. If he is still streaming when we're done, I'm going to give him a host because he's starting a streaming show, like a weekly show that's focusing on Sega, past and present. I don't think he'll be working on the future. I don't imagine. Um, and Jared Ray is a fantastic person with just the biggest heart in the world. Just a wonderful person. So, unfortunately, streaming right at the time I'd be watching if it wasn't streaming right the fuck now. Like, hey, Jared, 9 to 11 Eastern is my time on Thursdays. No, there's a bunch of people streaming right now. So, we'll go in another minute or two, see if anybody else joins us via tweets or got their notification and they pop in. If this is a light stream tonight, that's okay. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up my vocals and stop talking as loudly as I am, and we'll see if I can compensate for that. If at any point I am not loud enough, I apologize. I can feel myself pushing because I lost my voice this week. So, yes, Lashbrook, there is also a white guy who is known for blinking that is doing a charity stream today, which is also rad and good for him. But um, as far as I'm concerned, the only time I reschedule my streams are one, when I am traveling and can't physically be here to stream, and two, the Thursday of E3, because that's the one with all the people want to, on Giant Bomb. It's the Johnny and Adam and D. Leezy, Dave Lang show. So I'm not going to get in the way of that ever. That's the only time. Honestly, uh, that is the only time that I've ever not streamed while I was available to stream. I streamed earlier that Thursday because I was going to get. I was not going to compete. I can't compete with that. I wanted to watch it live too. So, but yeah, thanks everybody for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for telling people about it. Word of mouth is still the best advertising. A retweet of my tweet when I go live. A retweet of the tweet I make the day of where I say, hey, in 9 hours I'm going to be streaming. Like even if one person looks at that might be interested. I honestly think that we've got a nice little community here that's welcoming to new folks. I don't feel like a broken record when I give advice about model kit building or Lego kit building or anything like that. I love having new folks in. Let's go to the main feed here, our overhead shot. Here's our overhead shot. We've got some tools. We've got our U-wing here. So what I want to say about this U-Wing is before we have two more bags, bags 4 and 5, which is not a lot of pieces. I did both bags. This will be done today. We are going to start on the what is it, the Bawoo, the Re 100 Bawoo. We will start that today. But this kit doesn't fit in the box anymore. Most Lego sets I build end up fitting sideways, or maybe you have to like take apart a couple pieces. I've had a few pieces of things where I had to take off the rockets and it all slides in. Um, but this will not. We're not done yet. It's still got a little more height to it, but this is not going to fit in the box. There's some fun tricks here. We've got our bottom things that slide out. It goes on both sides. Slide on both sides. That's very cool. If we were going to put rockets in here or blasters, you press down for that. And then, of course, you can open it up on both sides here, which is very fucking cool. This is a really awesome kit. A few people reached out when they saw that I was doing the U-Wing fighter and said, like, hey, this is a great kit. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. And they have been right. This is a very fun kit. So anyway, we're going to build. We're going to be reading instructions here. I'm going to build it here. And we'll start going through. I knolled today, so we don't have to open any bags. Asmo says I'm doing my first non-Lego build. Oh, yeah, the Gloomhaven organizer. Wood and glue. Yeah. Shout outs to Surgical Chucks for making cleanup super easy. Ooh, that's a good tip. Surgical Chucks. I saw those Gloomhaven organizers, which you can see photos of if you check out the Discord in the building sub community or sub thread, I should say. Nice little post there by Asmo, showing some photos of the work that they have been doing there, which is very cool. All right, so we're building a platform here that goes under that goes over here. We'll close these up, make it easier. But yeah, this is gonna go right in here, and it's like a landing platform basically. So we'll build that now. Yeah, hadn't done a Lego set in a bit that was Star Wars, so happy to do it again. Especially a kit that I really like this U-Wing. It's just very cool. Yeah, looking at the Bawoo, I'm excited to start that Bawoo. That's our next build. Did not do a poll on my Patreon. Normally I do a poll because both this kit and dropped a piece there. The Bawoo were sent at the exact same time. They arrived the same day, I should say, on from my Amazon wish list. So, as you may know, folks that have been familiar with the channel, stuff that's bought on my wish list jumps the queue. I have a few things. I have like 2 Lego sets and a Dragon Ball Super model kit to build. Those are on the horizon. Oh yeah, so we attach this here. You can see that, and then probably just, I don't know if this is supposed to open or not. It just kind of looks cool. Mostly, it just looks cool. And then when we're down here, we are going to put our. This is not a cockpit, but it is going in here. Oh, and it'll attach like that. Okay, I got it. It's like a lower cockpit, but we're going to have to put a couple decals on first. Ooh, decals. As you know, I'm not a sticker person myself. Don't necessarily love stickers, but I do try to apply decals because I think they look cool, and the decals that you get from Lego are pretty easy to apply. Are these going to be perfect? No. Are they going to be something that I'm into? Yes. I'll be fine with it not being perfect. For some of these, I will use a device to kind of guide me along. These are just long and narrow, so I don't need to use anything. I'm just going to apply it, and then hopefully not mess it up. Oh, I messed it up. There. Not perfect, not great. Also, it's on the bottom, so I kind of even care less. Uh, all right, those snap in. And then this is not meant to be raised and lowered. If anything, this is like just the idea of having a clear underbelly. Oh, let me see if I can put that in both shots. Yeah, so this is not meant to open up. There's nowhere for it to open up. You can open up slightly. It's mostly just there underneath. It's pretty cool. And we can put this aside as we build a thing right now that I don't remember. Are these, I think, go like on the back or the sides? I can't remember how this works. This is builds on it. So let's see. Working on it first. Is this from Rogue One? So this is the I'm trying to remember. This is the U-wing fighter. It's the Rebel U-wing fighter. So it is from modern times. It's got the Disney logo on it right away, which should probably tell you exactly where it's from. So yeah, so this is from the third trilogy story. What Slingbones here saying, "What's up, Pat? Glad to hang out again. I'd love to do a Lego Star Wars kit. It's been so long." Yes, Sling. It's been a little bit for me. I got kind of into the Ninjago stuff, which I really like. Don't get me wrong. And it was also a good change of pace to do some of that. Some other things. I still have a Mech Dragon and a Water Strider from Ninjago left to build. And then I have a Race Speed Bike, which will take. It's like 100 something piece kit. It's like a 200, maybe it's 200 pieces. That's gonna take no time at all to build. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to work on a Lego kit again because I really enjoy them. These, and then gray, gray. Yeah, so then we're just building some Lego here. But yeah, this is from Rogue One. The U-Fighter, I think, is just a great looking kit. It's a great piece of, it's a great ship, and I think it just looks really cool. The Y-Wing I really enjoyed building as well. This is a bigger kit. This is more substantial of a kit, but I've liked it as well. All right, so this is going to be underneath, and then I got to take. Wants to add these two wing pieces here, like that. So there's some overhang, which is unusual, and then it goes on, just kind of like locking it in place, basically, almost. Which is pretty cool looking. And these aren't really meant to move around too much. It's just a interesting use of those pieces. That looks right. Okay. Now we got to flip over and add some of these white pieces here. Mr. Bob, Pat, I made a regular expression that is going to save me and my coworkers time. You're super excited. And that you put that in there. Now, Mr. Bob, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very happy for you. I got no clue what the fuck that means at all. Mr. Bob, I don't know what that means. I don't know what a regular expression is. I'm excited, but you got to know, Mr. Bob, that I am damn excited for you. Because you made something that is not only helpful for you, but helpful for your coworkers. That's an A++ in my book. Because we all can take shortcuts to make our lives easier, and it rules when that is. But if you can save your coworkers time, that's That's A plus. That's looking out. That's looking out for the team. That's being a team player. And I 100%. I'm sorry if I sound sarcastic when I say this. I genuinely fucking love it when people are like, "I did this for us." I think that's the best. Um, it looks for my company's error messages format in our text log. Oh, okay. It looks for error messages, so it's easier to find those error messages. That sounds awesome. Like, no joke, that sounds cool. We're talking about that. I do want to point out here, see the overhead. They gave an arrow of where these pieces should go, which is kind of unusual for Lego, but I do appreciate that. Because I would have been like, all right, now, where on this thing? And it was like white on white, and that was kind of nice of Lego to tell me where to put this gosh darn pieces here. All right, and then we're going to build 4 things here. This is getting so bulky. I keep moving it out of my way so I have some build room. It's just so big. It's like we're working on a perfect grade over here. Am I right? Some of you know what I'm talking about. When you work on that 160 scale and you just suddenly run out of room. Um, yeah, Asmo. I also assumed it was programming and or wizardry. I think that's often a safe bet. All right, so we're gonna make 4 of these. So we'll do one of them so I can see how it looks, and then we'll do the other one. There, goes there, and then that goes here. And then since I'm gonna make 4 of these, what I'm gonna do is double check once and then just make a copy. Yep. And so we're working on our rocket boosters here on the sides of our ship that are going to go right here and right here. So, but yeah, this looks right. Compare, compare, compare. Yeah, this looks good. And now we'll just duplicate it. And then we'll be good. One of my favorite things about Lego builds is when you get that part where you build a couple separate things and then attach them to the main piece. So satisfying. Road, I totally agree with you. There's something really cool about like you're like, okay, I'm building this. Oh, it's the cockpit, and then you add the cockpit, and then it feels very done. It feels like you accomplished like a cool section of it. I think that's very fun. I like that in kits. This has been a lot of like build a little thing, add it, build a little thing, add it, build a little thing, add it. It's very smart in its approach. I've appreciated that for the most part. This has been a very intelligent, seemingly intelligent build. I'm gonna wait a little while before I start getting anime because I feel like on Saturday I was a little down, and I have been a bit down this season. There's been some cool shows, but overall, I I wasn't super positive on Saturday. Um, but yeah, I've got a few things. I think this week's the show that I watched on Tuesday, a show that I watched today, were good. Some good things happened in them. They were at least not bad. And then there's a show that I haven't really been talking about. I started talking about at the beginning of the season, and then stopped because I wasn't sure if I could recommend it, and because it was a mystery series, or a series about a mystery, I was like, I don't want to talk about this every week. Um, but I will start by saying I recommend Island. I think parts of it are very goofy. It is definitely sometimes kind of dumb, but it's a cool mystery, and I think it's worth watching. And I think that obviously I had no spoilers about any part of it, but I do think that it's like overall like worth your time. I think it's ended up being a good show, and I was a little worried about it. So I kind of stopped talking about Island because I didn't want to like you know have like be discussing it and then be like, oh, now it's bad, or oh, this mystery ended poorly, which totally could have happened. It could have been a complete and utter bust. I'm very glad it wasn't. All right, so Gonna put 2 of these on. This one, it goes space. So it's like this. Okay. And it's like this. Okay. And we'll do it on this side so you can see. Start with there. But yeah, I mean, we might as well get into anime talk. First things first. They did it. Overlord season 3 somewhat redeemed itself. I still don't love this season. It's still not as good as the second half of season 2. I don't know how it could be that good. The first episode is still great. I still think the first episode is awesome of the season. But then I kind of trailed off, and then we were introduced to a bunch of characters that we like we're pretty much aware we're gonna get murdered, and so it was like, well, don't start caring about these characters. And I've been a bit of a broken record about Overlord that I am not super fond of a lot of the human characters, but we did see some of the human characters that I do like, and they did some cool stuff, and so it doesn't take a lot. Like, I like what I like, and I don't apologize for liking what I like. Overlord introduced a slew of very cool goblins. There's been this thing, it was in the first, like, part, it's been in every season, basically, that this little village that Ainz Al Ghul saved, he gave the leader of the village this horn that you blow, and goblins show up, and they're your servants. They consider you the boss. So this very cool horn got blown in episode 11, which is the one that came out on Tuesday. And then a bunch of cool different kinds of goblins showed up. Like not like an army of 5,000 goblins showed up, and they were all different. Like, it's like an army, so they're different, like, patrols. There's like your foot soldiers. There's a bunch of paladin goblins, which I think is great. There were support class wizard paladins, and there were goblins. There were goblins that were like mage goblins. There were the beast rider goblins that were riding on horses. There was a group of assassins that showed up that was just like, this is the last time you will not see us in darkness. And they were dressed like kind of like ninjas, but also wearing armor, which doesn't make sense. And basically the plot line for them was just like, they all showed up and they were like, we're here to support the general, who is like a teenage girl. Or maybe she's in her 20s, I'm not sure. But they all just showed up, and were like, just like, one of the first lines that came out, which I loved, was, with us here, any deaths on our side would be a disgrace. And it was just like, I don't know. It was just a cool part. It's the stuff I like about Overlord. And then also Ainz Al Ghul, the main character, was just like also very surprised, because he's like, I guess because she's a good spellcaster, like he was expecting like a bunch of goblins to show up, but not like a whole army of goblins. It was kind of incredible. Then there were also these red hat goblins, and I don't know what those were supposed to be, but they were basically berserker goblins, and it was, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing it justice. I don't know if I'm saying anything that appeals to y'all. But please understand, and please hear me when I tell you, that as somebody who has been very down in the last few episodes, most of the season, I was like, all right, Overlord, okay. I mean, I was going to watch it until the season ended. I mean, there's only 2 more episodes. At least 1, maybe 2, because they've been 13 episode stories before. But overall, it was just super cool, and I was really into it. Um, Although I will say, no preview for next week's episode, so I was surprised about that. It's not the end of it. I don't think that's possible, but it was like, okay, I'm on board. I'm into it. You got me. I'll give it another shot, or I'll keep watching. So that was very cool. And then the other anime that I was very into, that I thought was great, um, this week, was I thought the conclusion of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord was pretty great. Um, it's probably a little too like goody goody. Kind of ended maybe a little too nice. Um, I appreciate that they waited until almost the complete end of the episode to throw in uh, a bunch of dumb shit that I don't like. The stuff I don't like about the about the series. They were like patient. There was some good fighting. Um, and all the characters that I like showed up, and it was satisfactory. Overall, that series was very. There were some very good parts and some very bad parts, and the bad parts weren't too much in that episode, so I appreciate that. Um, Chat, y'all being very quiet. I'm gonna throw the bear cave emote in there. Throw that bear cave emote in there. I also a thing I didn't say at the top of the show. Um, if you are ever building anything, Lego, like I said, I have the Discord. You're working on model kits. You're putting together Gloomhaven stuff. Send me a tweet about it. I always like to see tweets of what people are working on. Um, but yeah, I am not seeing anybody in chat right now, which is fine. Sometimes y'all are quiet, and that's okay. But just throw a bear cave emote in there to let me know that chat is working. Because after Road talked about his favorite thing, I have not seen any chatter. There we go, Road. It's okay. Don't have to apologize. Okay, so chat is working. Great. Look, sometimes y'all are quiet and that's fine, and sometimes y'all aren't quiet and I'm just not. It just chat doesn't work in my dashboard because I'm using the Twitch dashboard, which is more helpful than just watching the regular stream because it gives me a lot of more information and is generally on the helpful side, except when it fucking isn't at all. Um, so this thing we're putting on now is mostly for decoration, but what's important for me to know is that if I want to separate this bottom section from the top section, I have to unlatch some things. So I'd have to pry this open now to do it. They've now taken away the easy access to opening that, separating this part from the top, which is annoying, but I understand why they're doing it. Harold's in there. Yes, thank you everybody for chatting in there. Yeah, so how not to summon a demon lord. Yes, Last Brook. I have heard that Gundam Unicorn is on Netflix now. A few of y'all reached out to let me know. I don't currently have Netflix. I let it expire again. Um, Netflix is for me a thing that I do when I want to binge a bunch of stuff in like a long weekend. Like, oh, the new season of Glow is out. Time to watch that, and then a couple other things. So right now I don't have Netflix, and I'll get it at some point. Um, it's the good version, yes, because there's like different versions of it, right? So you want to watch the good one. I mean, I hope we watch the good one. All right, so I'm moving this off the side so I can build this thing, which is I'm building what appears to be the engine, as far as I can tell. This is the engine piece here. Yeah, so I only know the OVA, the 7 episodes. Yes, and then there's like the TV version, which is like the OVA, but like they extend some things and kind of make it longer. Uh, yeah, I don't know. But I have not watched it, so That's cool that it's on Netflix though. Yeah, so we got this piece here, which looks like straight out of like some sort of uh, hot rod Lego set. So that's kind of funny to have that here. And then we've got these two pieces here, and then this here. The OG series 40 episode run is much better if you want G.I. Joe style pew pew. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just going off what y'all have told me and limited information I have in there. I mean, sounds like a thing. I should check it out. There's a little bit of downtime now. Like I said, I think I have 2 weeks of Overlord. How Not to Summon Demon Lord is over. This week is episode 12. This on Friday or Saturday. I can't remember what day it comes out. I watch it on Saturday. Of Cells at Work is coming out, and they're going to be 13 episodes because episode 12 is a two-parter that'll wrap up the season. So in 2 weeks, I'll be like pretty much done with. Next week, I'll be done with all but one of the shows I watch regularly. And so now I'm going to play catch up a little bit because in October, like all the shows come out. So I'm like trying to finish off anything that I started but I didn't keep up with on a week to week basis. That's the goal. Has there been My Hero since the camp episodes? For subtitled, yes. Subtitling has been going. We just had one of the biggest fights from the manga of this era that people that have been reading the manga were looking forward to. There's a one-on-one battle that's like kind of incredible. The licensing exam arc is basically happening. The provincial licensing, at least in the subtitle. I don't watch the dub, so I don't know. But yeah, they've been doing some stuff for My Hero, but I'm waiting to watch that in chunks because I love watching that show a bunch in a row. It's just yeah. I've heard they're good dubs. There is it didn't go super viral, but a somewhat viral video went around of the of a voice actor from that show meeting a fan, and it's very cute. It was very plus ultra. I'll say that. Um, yeah, so this is the engine which we're putting in here. It's the engine, and also this is where our cockpit is going to clip on. So this is going to go. Ooh, I put this on facing the wrong direction. That's a goof on my part. This is the reversed of how it should be. So I have to pull this out, and I don't know how it's going to work. Nope. It's not going to work like that. It's going to work like that. All right, so I've got to do a thing here because this is just wrong. So I'm going to pry this off, and I'm going to try to pop these up. Yes, great. So I took up more than I needed to because I knew I could pull this up, which is good. And then I want to put this back on where it's supposed to be, but I just have to reverse it. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Great. And then we'll put it where the way it's supposed to be, which makes more sense. Great. Okay. And then just hangs out here like that. Excellent. We did it. No problems. Hard time switching. Yes. Oh, Sector. I don't enjoy switching between dubs and subs. I generally try to watch a show. Now, sometimes you have to do that. Like, I got very much into Dragon Ball Z back in the day through the dub, the first original dub that came out. The 13 episodes of Dragon Ball, and then later the first saga in Dragon Ball Z. And I watched it dubbed and then found subtitles and started watching it subtitled because that was the only way to watch it. Like there was no other way to watch the series. So, but and then like and then like maybe I tune into the dub and watch episodes I already seen. But it can be tough. Um, uh, like I do. So here's the thing. Uh, I think one of the only shows that I've watched both completely and totally is Cowboy Bebop. I've watched every episode dubbed and every episode subtitled. And I think the dub is so solid, but I also think the subtitles are, or not subtitle, the like the voice acting in Japan. I think Japanese voice acting is incredible. I mean, the Japanese voice actress for Faye Valentine is just so expressive and wonderful. And I think that maybe Japanese Ed is better. But then you're like, Spike's like American voice actor is so good. Um, it's like it's tough, and Jet I think is great as well. I think that show works really well in both dub and sub, but um, it is hard to jump between the two. Especially if you watch if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know how you go back to Junosuke after hearing Joey. Especially if you're not familiar. So that's the thing that when you watch a character and they have like a heavy Brooklyn accent or like a country drawl, um, it's sometimes very hard to understand that they chose that because they're from a place in Japan. Then they're kind of making fun of a regional dialect, and then someone in the localization decided, well, we'll make them like a New Yorker because we can't do that. Um, I'm trying to think if there's any. There's a character in Azuma Daioh that they just nicknamed Osaka because she's a dumb character from Osaka. Um, like it's not one to one, but sometimes they'll be like, um, there's a character in I forget the name of it. There's an anime. Uh, it's it's the anime about the popular pretty girl that when she comes home she turns into like a little version of herself and is like an otaku, um, and kind of lazy, and then her living with her brother. Um, and there's a character in that show who the official subtitle, when she's talking in her kind of country accent, they really do a good job. Uh, yes, Amaru is it? Yeah, they do a good job of Ebina of giving her her subtitles when she's like you see words like darn tootin', but because the localization subtitle is trying to convey that right now she's speaking differently than she would when she's catching herself. When she eats, she talks like the way she was raised, which she's embarrassed about. And I didn't understand that. So because I watched the season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is before the Duel Monsters, which eventually came out in the U.S. but originally was only subtitled. I watched that and I was like, why is Joey now? Why would they make Joey from Brooklyn? What are they doing? Like, why did they do this? And now I understand it more. That they were like, well, this is his he's a street tough, so we decided to make him Brooklyn. His Inner Circumstance is a different show that I'm not talking about. That's like that's the drama that Gynex. That's the like school drama that Gynex made, right? Or they made the anime version of the manga. That is a different thing. Um, all right, so we put a cockpit in. Oh, shoot. I was going to talk about this cockpit. I got distracted talking about other anime. Amaru, I think, is the name of that anime. But you'll find it in other shows where Laid Back Camp. Uh, there's a running gag where Nadesco is playing a country grandma when she's feeding Rin some food that she made, and it's like the accent. If you listen to the accent that Nadesco was trying to do or successful doing, it's that kind of like you might make it a southern accent in to make it a country grandma, or you might make it, depending on your localization and your dub, a Jewish accent because maybe you're doing a Jewish grandmother, or Italian grandmother. They eat. You look so thin. That kind of like caricature. But in this one, they're doing like a place that I've never been to in Japan and don't know anything about, so I don't get that part of the cultural reference. Um, yeah, Sling, I agree with you. It is a really interesting thing to think about because, like, um, in the same way that, yeah, we have stereotypes of characters and where they're from when we deal with our own television programs. That happens in Japan too, but if we don't know that, it's kind of hard to like be able to gauge it. Those kind of cultural studies. I did want to point out. So this cockpit, instead of making us put these stickers on, it's just got this etched white into it, which is awesome because then I didn't have to do it, and that rules. Thank you. We got our cockpit, so I'm going to put our pilot in there since we have the cockpit. He just sits right in there and hangs out, doing his thing. Oh no, I gotta have him lean back, I guess, to fit his helmet in this. He's got to lean back and then closes it. That's just fun. I like that. Because I'm not going to be able to put this back in the box without really taking it apart. Like, I'd have to really take off the whole bottom and separate it in two and take all the rockets off to fit in the box. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to get just an Amazon box and put that in there with it. Because what I normally do is for folks that have won my raffles in the past, because a subscriber, the last stream of the month always gets something. Usually what I do is I just take the box it came in, I keep the figure or the Lego set in there, and if it's a Gundam, I wrap it as best I can and then put it in an Amazon box and send it out to recycle those boxes. So for this, I might have to just like put this on top of the box and mail it like that, which I don't really want to do. All right, so now we're on bag 5, which we already knolled. This is all pieces here are for bag 5. So we're going to work on the rest of our cockpit, and our booster rockets is basically what we're going to be building. The most of is our boosters. So work on 2 of these. Do this 2 at a time, it looks like. We need these 2 here. Last night I kind of talked about a bit. There was a joke about someone was translating something and ended with like with using Nakama, and which is like my friends or my crew, and how that has taken on. There's got to be a 10-minute doc out there about this because I think it's fascinating. So years ago, some fan subgroup, either it was a group or everyone, decided that Nakama, my friend group, meaning in this case my pirate crew in One Piece, that saying that the Straw Hats, they stopped translating it as friends and kept it as like a word that stood out because like someone or collective of someone's decided that word was important and didn't need to be translated. And thus, by the transitive properties of being fan subbers, other fan subgroups picked that up and they all started doing it. And it doesn't matter. It's not important at all. Like, the creator of One Piece is just like, I don't know where that came from. It's weird. Y'all are weird. There is a ProZD that is mostly about Naruto, but does the Nakama thing in it, where it's fan subs versus. I'm actually going to look it up and I'm going to put it in the chat and then I'll put it in the show description. But it's while I'm looking it up, I'll tell you it. ProZD does a thing where it's like Japanese lines versus fan sub, and it's adding a lot of uh like one, it adds a lot of swears where it's just like you fucking like whatever. Um, Official subs versus fan subs is what it's called, and I will link it. Uh, yeah, screw you instead of fuck you. Um, and it's very funny. And I'm gonna put the link there. Uh, it's so what a lot of fan subs do is honestly what a lot of the fan subs do in Naruto, but also in other shows. Um, I'm putting it here in the show page there, but also I'm going to put it in the show description um, as a thing that we talked about, so that it's in there. So it'll be in the YouTube archive. A lot with fan subs is just adding swears. Baka means fool or idiot, and depending on how you say it and with what, the how you say it, it can mean different things. But it usually doesn't mean um, bastard or the R word. It never means the R word, but sometimes it'll just show up in a fan sub, and you're like, oh, this is awful. Why would you do this? Because a fan subber decided that there it was like important to say. I don't know. It's a very weird uh thing that happens particularly in fan subs of just like adding swears. And sometimes fan subbers are doing really good work. They're adding context, right? Like sometimes a joke just doesn't work because um, it doesn't work because it is it's like a portmanteau, or it's a joke based on like this character means this, but we said it, but it can also mean this. So when you say I'm sorry with that inflection, it could be misinterpreted as this, and you're like, I do not get this joke. And sometimes fan subbers will like put a note up top to be like, here's what it is. But also sometimes fan subbers will put a note for a thing that's very obvious, and you're like, yeah. I get that. Um, uh, it is a weird thing in fan subs that I had gotten very used to, and now that I'm watching like official subtitles, uh, because I predominantly watch things on Crunchyroll or Amazon Prime, it's weird again to be like, oh yeah. This is like what they actually meant. Sometimes they get it wrong too. Don't get me wrong. They are doing those crews are doing fan subs very quickly. So sometimes they do mess up because it's like the day and date subtitles. And then a lot of times the English language script changes just to make things easier for the people who are having to speak those lines. It's very weird to like get like an official like Blu-ray or DVD back in the day, and watch the dub with subtitles, because sometimes DVDs would do the subtitle that was um, the translation of the Japanese text that you're supposed to watch with Japanese voice, and then you watch the dub and it's like off. Uh, so Sector, in some ways, especially for context, like a comedy anime, I might trust fan subbers more. A show like Chio's School Road that I watched, that I kind of didn't talk about because it's not great. It's actually not that great, but has a lot of jokes in it that are pop culture jokes on manga and anime and Western video games. I bet the fan sub of that kind of explains a few jokes that they don't think that a Western audience, an English reading audience, would get. So I actually bet that fan sub is pretty good. I have not read it in it with a fan sub, so I do not know. Um, but I would imagine it's pretty helpful in that regard for some of the subtle jokes. But I don't know. Um, yeah, I mean, the other thing is that fan subs are sometimes not localizing. Ooh, I put that on wrong. They're not doing the localization. They're just doing a translation. Whereas a lot of times there is like some cultural changes that happen with a paid staff that's working for Crunchyroll or Amazon Video or another, like any of those other services that provide that. There might be something a little different. You never know. And okay. So yeah, we're building our booster rockets here. We're gonna take a break in a little bit, and we'll take a pause for the calls at some point, and I'll talk about ways that y'all can continue to support these streams. You don't really want it to be Americanized. Yeah, I understand. Oh, good night, Harold. Thank you for the hosting. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. I still remember when Excel Saga came with a mode that was a pop-up video that explained all the jokes a Western audience wouldn't get. Man, that show was dense. Looking back, it's not as funny as it was at the time. At the time, for me, it was like it felt seminal. It felt like an important piece of of like of anime, and I don't know if it definitely feels that way now. But I remember at the time being like, "This is important." I don't quite know why I thought that, but I did 100% feel that. But yeah, there'd just be like references that I would be like, I don't get this. I don't get this at all. Yeah. Um, but it was that thing where it was like, yeah. Well, I mean, also I probably don't really. I probably it probably wouldn't hold up because so much of it was like random humor, which was funny, but like probably doesn't hold up. Um, so this is kind of interesting. We're building these rockets, and we're using this piece here uh, that looks just like pickaxes. Um, and it's gonna mean something else. But I love that a lot of times you'll be building with something and you'll be like, oh, this is also a lightsaber. This piece also is a lightsaber sometimes. But yeah, these pieces right here are like accents for our booster rockets, but also just look um, uh, just right now look like weird tools for another kit. Like this looks like a pickaxe, but right now it's part of our booster rockets. We put these in there. Okay. My friend group described it as having a plot twist before it even had a plot. Yes, I will agree with you. Your DVDs are probably in store. Yeah, I don't have a lot of DVDs these days. I transferred a lot of them to media and then like sold them used a while back. And I still have some DVDs. I still have some Blu-rays here and there. I have a Blu-ray player. Um, I got a little travel Blu-ray player that I'm excited. I've decided to take on the road a little bit. Um, oh, and it goes on like this. So I decided, and I'll talk about it now because I think that's fun. That one of the things I'm going to do for PAX Unplugged is I have a little Blu-ray player that has a USB input on it and plays MP4s very well. So I'm going to buy a little monitor. I have one priced out. I have to buy it. I have to buy it. I haven't yet, but I'm going to buy a little monitor that's going to sit on top of the DVD player because I'm just using the USB, and then I'm going to play like video of our panels and promos and a bunch of other stuff, and then we'll have like a cool eye catcher for people to kind of like check out what we do um, at the League of Heels table in Bandland. Because one of the most successful things we've done is have the belt, our championship belt draws eyes, and people are very interested in coming to it. And then some people, some of the bands play music. They bring like a boombox or something and just kind of like play some tunes to let people know what they're into. Obviously, we can't do that, and we probably wouldn't even have sound because I want to be respectful um, of the other tables. But no one else is doing video, so I think we're gonna do that, and I'm kind of excited about it. I think it'll be very unique, and hopefully people will be like, "Oh, what's going on over there?" It also is a fun idea of like having a visual, like an eye catch computer thing going at Unplugged. Seems like wrong, but Bandland is isolated anyway from the show floor, so why the fuck not? So I'll have the option of sound. I'll bring like I have a little speaker, just a little tiny speaker, a Bose speaker that works very well and is loud. But I won't. That won't be by default. By default, it'll just be like a bunch of video, just to kind of catch people's eyes. Um, if there's a lot of room in Bandland, like there was at Unplugged, because Unplugged last year there were only 2 tables because there weren't any bands. I don't know what it's going to be like this year, if they're going to have bands come, or if it's just going to be me and Chris Straub. Um, so I don't want to like. It was one thing to have the video games orchestra playing, or whatever, or the like Zelda quartet or whatever. It's another to be like, here's my one rap CD. I'm just gonna play it over and over again. So that's just one thing. All right, so we're gonna finish this up and then we're gonna take our break because it's coming up to break time. I want to drink some water. I want to tell y'all about ways that you can support my streams going forward, all that stuff. That, and then this goes in here. It's kind of cool. So yeah, that's the thing I've been thinking about doing, because I have the little Bluray player, and like I said, plays, um, it plays videos like MP4s right off of the external. So I'd also probably end up burning like a disc, like even if I just burned a DVD of a bunch of videos, just so I had something to play in case like the USB died or something, and so I didn't just have a tiny little monitor. But a thing I could do at shows like with a little monitor, not with a DVD player, but with a little monitor, it shows like west or east, is I could also hook my laptop up to it and people could play. Or we could hook the N64 up to it, which also sounds very stupid. All right, so these are the top boosters. I'm going to add these 2 boosters, and then I'm going to, we'll take our break and I'll do my promos and all that. Goes there, and this goes here. Awesome. All right, those are the top ones. So we're going to build our bottom vehicle bits in a second. But hello. First and foremost, if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. I honestly do appreciate it very much. Right now, we have 22 subscribers, and that's rad as hell. We're always between like 20 and to 25. That's kind of been our average, and that's awesome. September, if you've ever been a guest, if you're at a guest sub here, apparently it costs like $1 to become a sub for a month through the month of September. That's something that you might be interested in. If you're just watching because you follow me on Twitter, you follow a link, consider becoming a subscriber. At the very least, give me a follow and then set it so you get notifications when I go live, which is every Thursday and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, unless something's going on. I'll be traveling. For PAX Unplugged, that'll be the next time that I should miss. I should be good other than that. So yeah, another way that you could support the stream is by becoming a backer on Patreon. The $1 level, you get a Q&A video that I'm going to record this weekend. I got some questions into my email, so I'm going to be answering some questions. And $5 a month, you get Oops, that's the wrong thing. My Patreon, $5 a month, you get the videos early. Like I'm gonna upload this video tonight, and that will go to my my Patreon backers at the $5 level, and they get everything early, um, which is a cool thing, including my videos where I look at this stuff and my YouTube series that I do. They get them early as well. So my Patreon, the link is here. I'm at $110 right now. My big goal is 150. If I hit 150, I'm adding an hour stream a week. I will add a Monday afternoon stream, which will be from 4:30 to 5:30. Or no, I can't do that. It'll be on Monday. So it'll be a Monday afternoon stream where for an hour I'll be building something. And I'll do that weekly. I'll add another hour a week and another stream a week. That's if I hit $150. That's the goal. That's what I'm looking to do. Um, and then $10 a month from Patreon, you get something pretty cool. You get to vote on kits. So the kit we're doing next, because it was bought off my Amazon wish list, is the Bawoo, the RE 100, the Reborn 100 Bawoo. What I do after that is going to be up to vote. So that's a cool thing that the $10 supporters get to do. Speaking of my Amazon wish list, I have an Amazon wish list. Clever segue, wasn't it? I update it really frequently. I'm going to look right now. I try to make sure that I have things that either currently or have been available through Amazon Prime. Looking right now, the Android 18 kit was Amazon Prime eligible, is no longer. And then the Sword Impulse Gundam looks like it went up in price, which is annoying. But the Trooper, the Kismar Trooper kit, which is the 1/100 scale, dropped by a penny. Ooh, look at that. So I've got model kits in there, and it would be cool to build anything there. Those always jump the line. The bottom I have like a couple like things that would be cool equipment wise to make my streams better. None of that is necessary, but I put it up there. Might be something you might be interested in. I've got a tip jar, coffee. You could always send me stuff on that. Yes, the savings are excellent, Lashbrook. Sometimes it's like $1. Sometimes it's like a penny less than originally. Then I got coffee. That's just like a tip jar. That's a cool thing y'all could do if you wanted to. And then I have the Build-A-Bear community, and I think that's worth joining. The Build-A-Bear community rules. It is a Discord. You could join that. I post photos of the kits that I build and then promote my stuff. And it's easy to go to general and just see like the videos that I've put up recently. I'll put up there. You could also subscribe to my YouTube. I don't plug my YouTube that often, or my Twitter. That's twitter.com/PatBear, youtube.com/PatBear. Those are the ways to find out what I'm doing. YouTube, I'm so close to $100 made in ads, in which case that YouTube and Google would have to pay me. That would be cool. And any money I make there on my YouTube, any money I make on this through subscribers or Patreon, it all goes back into buying either equipment or buying stuff to build. That's all. All right, let's get back into the building. And hopefully we got another hour. I'm going to take a drink of water, and then we're going to get to building some more. One thing I'm going to do is this is slightly not centered, and it's been annoying me. Fixed. Great. All right. Okay, we're back to building. We're back to doing it. We did our top. We got to do our bottom here. I'm going to move this aside. Going to do these two at a time like we just did. But yeah, I'm excited for Unplugged. I've not made it official as an announcement, but I will tell you all because y'all are cool, and I know I can trust y'all. So I may have said what my first guest is going to be of two for the Build a Bear Workshop Lego Challenge, but I didn't say the other person. I believe I told the folks that Trin Garitano is going to be uh, one of my panelists, and which is awesome. You know Trin from Cards Against Humanity. She now works for the board games division of Kickstarter, and runs a podcast for them along with Friendshipping podcast she does with Jen Bain, still of Cards Against Humanity. Um, Trin rules. She is a wonderful, lovely person, and joining Trin for Lego building in a timely fashion for the Lego Challenge will be webcomic artist and all around great Philly representative, Maki Naro. Now, you may know Maki from the short lived, one season long reality show that Penny Arcade did called Strip Search. It was to find like you got like a year of doing video or doing comics that ran on Penny Arcade. A bunch of artists that I know now, I got to know because of that series, including Maki. Um, Pineapple Maki was his deal. Maki rules. He is a very cool guy um, and a very nice person. And Maki will be joining Trin for the Lego Challenge. I do not know when. I do not know if it will be streamed. If it isn't streamed, I will film it. Don't you worry. I will set up a camera and we will record OBS, which will show like basically like this shot, like we did with the last show. Um, I'm hoping it'll be streamed because it's I think it's a cool show. And Unplugged, a lot of Unplugged is still right now, like in my estimation, it's going to be a lot of um, like conversations about where can we go and what can we do and what's 2019 hold for tabletop, and like I think the show they can use a few like funny, fun, actual like play podcasts or play panels, like enjoyable entertainment is what I should say, which I think I can deliver. I think I've proven that time and time again. And then no announcements yet about League of Heels, our League of Heels show, except that we're doing it. No video games will be played. Right now, I am in discussions with a card game, a wrestling-themed card game. The developers of said card game reached out to Aaron, and so now we are in discussion, and that I think is going to be pretty cool. All thumb wrestling. Well, Sector, that is a way to approach tabletop. I mean, it would take place on a tabletop. Thumb wrestling. You know what? I'm going to say this, Sector. Thumb wrestling is a good tiebreaker for other games that we will be playing. I'm going to keep that under my hat as a tiebreaker. But one of the beautiful things of doing Unplugged is that we're in Philadelphia, the home of many of independent wrestler. And I am going to do my dangdest, my darndest, my damnedest to book some incredible wrestlers to come do the panel. I'm going to have some game designers. I'm going to have some wrestlers. It's called Everyone Can Wrestle. It's going to be a very fun show. I know that's approved. I don't know when it will be. I assume it will be an evening show, but it also could be a daytime. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I should probably actually just be like, hey, when do you think this is going to be? I should just ask. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be very cool. I still have to, get a bunch of people, and then, it's the end of November. It's like the end of November, beginning of December. So I have some time to get my stuff together, which is nice. Because New York Comic Con is the next thing for me. I have nothing to report at this time about New York Comic Con. I assume I will be doing some things with Oni, although I do not know exactly what that'll be. And then the only other thing I can say for certain is that I will not be interrupting my normal streaming schedule because it's in New York and I'm in New York. So it would be foolish of me to like break my schedule just because an event's happening that I can just like leave and go home to. So right now the plan is that in a couple weeks when we hit that, I'm just gonna work, um, and it'll be cool. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, great. All right, we do that. We do that with that, and then we do. We just did these, so nothing really particularly tough about this section right here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Unplugged. I had a great time last year. It's a very chill, relaxed convention. A lot of people came and bought, tested, and played board games. It was very cool. So I'm looking to see how that grows. It was earlier in November last year, and I'm glad that it moved. Uh, since he got mentioned earlier, while my fingers were coated in glue, Chris Straub is an incredible improviser. You're not wrong. Chris is a really great, he has a really great comedic voice and incredible comedic timing. Um, he is very fun to play with and play off of. Mr. Kayfabe, as he is known in League of Heels, is really awesome. And do not be surprised. No confirmation yet. Do not be surprised to see him in a League of Heels show in the future, because he is just great and a pleasure to work with. Always enjoy working with him. I need to have new blood. Like one of the things with improvised postmortem, which I'm not doing it unplugged because it's just I just can't run all these panels with when League of Heels doesn't have Aaron. Like East, I'll be able to do a bunch of panels. I as many panels as I want, as they'll give me because I'll have Aaron support. But without Aaron, I can't. That was too much. So I'm only doing 2 panels that unplugged, and that's the right number. Uh, Without Aaron. All right, we're done with decals. Um, but yeah, I would have Straub in everything, but I gotta bring in new people, especially something with like improvised postmortem. Uh, there are a few folks that I will ask to do it every time, right? Like, um, I'm always gonna ask Jeff. Jeff Gerstmann is incredible in that show. He's so fucking funny and so great. I'm always gonna ask Jeff to do it. Um, I also ask him to do it because I want to give him plenty of reasons to come to PAX because I know it's important for a lot of people. So it's like, hey, come to PAX, come do this thing, um, to incentivize him to come. Um, and then uh, I'm always going to have Abby do it. Abby's incredible. She's proven herself to be invaluable to the show. Always going to have Abby do it. And then, like, Lang has done it every time, right? I don't know if he'll always do every time, but probably. He'll probably do it every time. Um, all right, now we got to put these rockets on here. We did the top ones. Now we got to do the bottom ones here. Did screw this up somehow, but it's easily fixable. I put these facing the wrong way, and now I have to undo my mistake. Mr. Bob says I think I could do Unplugged this year. Oh, that'd be great. I mean, I really like the show, especially if you have a fondness for tabletop. If you don't have a fondness for tabletop, it might be a boring show because, like a lot of the show is demoing new games and seeing people Uh, but also it's like it's in Philly and it's like very convenient for a lot of people to come check it out. And I think it's a great show. I really enjoy. I really enjoyed it. My time there. So mess this up. I don't know how to fix it. All right. Well, you know what? I actually don't really care that I messed it up. I think it'll be okay. I'm going to just chalk this up to this makes my Y wing different from somebody else's Y wing, or not Y wing, U wing. This is different than somebody else's U wing because it's the one I made. We'll just leave it like that. Oops. Customized. Mine's slightly different. I have never done Philly outside of getting Maul drunk at King of Prussian Paul. Um, I I've only been to Philly a couple times. I've been there for wrestling shows, and then I went to Pax the Plug last year and enjoyed it. Um, my Airbnb was in walking distance. My Airbnb this time is also in walking distance, which is rad. I'm very excited about that. Um, and I got a room for rent that's very cheap, very reasonably priced. Actually, just kind of washed out, very easily priced, and so always excited about that. All right, this is it. This is done. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is awesome. This is an awesome kit. It's so big. It's totally not going to fit. I think if I took these rockets off and took the bottom off, it still wouldn't fit in the box they came in. The box is too narrow. So this is going to have to live on top of the box. And if it lives on top of the box, I don't know. But it's done, and it looks beautiful. It's an awesome looking kit. I'm very excited about it. Got a text message, nothing important. Hooray for that. All right, great. So that's done. I'm going to push this aside. Well, we'll look at it. Let's take a second. Everybody chill out. Cool your jets. Relax. I think it looks beautiful. The colors are really popping. And I think the blue in particular is awesome. I like the detail in the cockpit a lot. The boosters are great. I like that you can open it up so you really get the wing part of it. These go back, and they actually lock in place like that, so you can fly it like this. You can fly it open, and these will stay locked because there's a locking mechanism to open them up, which I think is very cool. Like I said, there's launchers in the front. Close those up there. And then we have these things here on the side that open up, which is cool. All right, so we got about 40 minutes left in the stream. We're going to start our Bawoo. I'm very excited to start our Bawoo. I'm going to tweet out that we're starting. Let's go to the other image that we need. Oh, got to get my mouse back here. All right, so there's the Bawoo, and then I'm just going to go tweet out. I'm going to take my tiny little dumb keyboard and just reply to my own tweet. Say we're starting. Start the Bawoo. Now the Bawoo, for those that don't know, is a kit that was Mr. Bob. This is the kit you sent me, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. I like to imagine that the people my age that design kits now build spaceships like I did when I was a kid. Yeah. But yeah, this is the Bawoo. It is a very cool looking kit. I gotta get the instructions here. It does have an ad, which I think is very funny. It fucking has a full color ad for the Bawoo, which is the like rebuild of the Bawoo from the show. I guess that came out in February last year, so they were really promoting that, which is funny. Um, so for those that don't know, because I didn't really know, the Re 100 or the Reborn 100 is a non-grade kit. It is somewhere. It is not a master grade kit, but it is not a high grade kit. It is um, kind of like, in my imagination, I would describe it as being kind of like the real grade, but for the 1/100 scale. Uh, you think the Unicorn version of this was a mass-produced mobile suit? That's totally possible. Um, this one has a lot of English in it. This was a 2016 release, so like you can see here. I mean, like that, you can't read it. Don't worry about it. But there's a lot of English. So it's telling me we're going to work on the body, then we're going to work on the head, then we're going to work on the arms, and then the waist, and then the legs, and the wings, and then the rifle, shield, and beam saber. The shield is fucking really cool on this. Um, so the thing with this kit is that we'll get started. I'll talk about it a bit. One of the things that appealed to me was one, I hadn't worked on a Reborn kit. So I was excited about working on a Reborn because that's new and exciting. So I thought that was kind of cool to work on that. But one of the things I was most excited about was working on something that I got to say is that this kit transforms by breaking in half and becomes two vehicles. And it becomes the Bawoo Attacker, and this is in the book, the Bawoo Nutter. Read bottom, you can see that it becomes the Bawoo Attacker and the Bawoo Nutter. The Bawoo Attacker and the Bawoo Nutter. So I can't wait to build the Nutter, which is a thing that I now get to say for a couple of episodes. Yeah, man, I don't know which piece I like better, the Attacker or the Nutter. All I know is I can't wait for it. Can't wait for that Attacker and that Nutter. I will get sick of saying this someday. All right, C19. Someday I'm going to get real sick of saying that, what I just said. But not today. 30 years old. But, no problem. Laughing at a dumb joke. All right. Do that, do that. And then we need to do the other side with the exact same piece. So we'll just put that there. Never go full Nutter. This is my favorite build to date. Allison by proxy asks, "Hi Pat, do you plan to continue playing the Giant Round 2018 games for your YouTube channel?" Actually, Allison, yes I do. The next game the next video actually, which will go out on Monday, features a couple games that I saved and hadn't played yet on my Let Pat Play. So yeah, I do plan on doing a few. I don't know if I'm going to do 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 2. I'm not 100% sure exactly how many I'm going to do on this next video, but I do plan to look at more. I'm not going to look at all of them because some of them are card games and some of them don't run. I just couldn't figure out how to get them to run. I don't know if it's something I don't own in Unity or they weren't compiled right, or I'm not sure. But my goal is to play more of them because I did enjoy playing some games, and I know that folks are often disappointed that that Giant Bomb doesn't always look at them in a timely fashion. I know there's some folks, but it's kind of cool to check out what the community's been working on. Well, Allison, if you want to tweet at me a link to your itch page to the game, I will make sure to go check it out and I will download it, and it will be one of the games I look at. I will not 100% promise you that I will look at it on YouTube and it'll be there on YouTube, but I will promise you that I will look at it. That's the 100% guaranteed. I will take a look at your game. I can definitely guarantee that I will take a look at it and see if it's something that I want to check out for the shows. But yeah, send me a tweet. That actually goes for everybody. In general, if there's ever like a game, especially a free game on itch or a low cost game on itch, just something you think would be cool for Let Pat Play that you think I should play, let me know. I'm always interested in checking out games. I do like looking at free games because I like playing cool, weird experimental games. The one I just played, I had a really good time with. Hot Pot. It was like a kind of a fun idea. It was like Katamari and Cooking Mama, like combined. It was pretty fun. So I enjoyed playing that. So yeah, so Allison, please feel free to do that. To share, just send me the link, and I'll do my best to take a look at it. All right. So this is telling me I'm building here the body of our Bawoo. It's giving me some instructions on how to add this here. Looks like I go angle. As always, once I do it on the one side, the other side will come a lot faster. Right now I'm having a bit of difficulty locking this in place, trying to figure out what they want from me. Tweet sent. Oh, thank you very much, Allison. I'll take a look when I'm done with the stream and add it to my queue of things to look at for my next one. But yeah, I did want to get back to looking at some Giant Bomb games. Somebody else did ask me to play theirs, and I can't remember what it was, but I met them at PAX West, and I feel bad, so I might put a tweet out being like, hey, if you came by the League of Heels booth and asked me to play your game, please let me know who you are, because I don't remember. All right, I'm having some trouble. Okay, that looks right. Okay, that looks right. I think I got it. And then A6. I love the colors of the Bawoo. It's just so, this red is so beautiful. I think that the photo does a lot more justice than my lighting here, the particular lighting I have, which has a lot to do with being able to be green screened and all that. I think that my lighting isn't as good and kind of it loses some of its awesomeness. Got going on here. Allison just subscribed. Allison, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Oh, Board. That wasn't Allison becoming. That was Board giving a tier 1. Board, that's your 4th gift sub. That's so nice. Allison, enjoy your ability to use the emote. You have for a whole month the ability to use the Bear Cave emote, which I will demonstrate. Board, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much for continuing to support folks and letting them become subscribers. That's rad as heck. And you know it. All right, so we did that. Kind of goes like that, I guess. All right, we did it. Now we're going to do basically what we just did here on the other side. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Board. one, for helping people out, and two, you know, means that more people are subscribing, which means that, makes it easier for me to continue to do the stuff I do here. So I very much appreciate that, because I want to keep building model kits and Lego sets for all y'all. I love it very much. So it's always awesome when I get to do it. So let's see. So for Saturday, our next stream, I will of course have been building more of this stuff. So we'll build more of this, and I will have watched the second to last, the two-parter episode of Cells at Work. Looking forward to that, as that show is my favorite thing going right now. I might watch a little bit more of Masters of Einhorn or whatever it's called, which was the other like guy wakes up in a different world with powers show. That one I kind of fell off of because it wasn't particularly great, but I might go back to that. I don't know. We got a new follower. Adamak is following there. I'm not usually the most active in the community, but I do enjoy your content. Allison, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. So one, welcome to the Build with Baer community, which is a nice little subset community here. The thing you gotta know about us is we're very chill and very cool. Some people don't tweet at all, or chat at all when they watch. They just watch. They just check it out. Some people will just watch on YouTube. I know some folks that don't get to see it live, or they watch the archives. Iron Souls is a $10 a month subscriber who does not watch any of my content live. He just watches, like, occasionally watches on YouTube, which I think is hilarious because he pays $10 a month just to be like, yeah, sure, keep building. I don't have time for this because he's a busy person, which I think is awesome. I endeavor to be able to support folks that are supporting me and to continue to build and do cool stuff. But yeah, some people don't really talk in chat. Other people talk about stuff, that are watching the same anime that I'm watching, that are watching stuff I haven't heard of. We do a lot of anime discussion just because that's a thing that I can talk about because I'm passionate about shows that are on right now, and knowledgeable about shows that are knowledgeable about shows that are out right now, so I can talk about those. I just get riled up in chat. The anime talk breaks out. Yes, I understand, bored. Yeah, for some people, it's just like, oh, that's just a thing that happens in every episode, and you just kind of deal with me and my interests. I have not said this on a stream in a while, and it always is important for me to be earnest and honest with folks. Had to step out for a sec, but your boy's back. Thank you, Sling. Welcome back. A thing that I should say that especially with new folks, I don't know if I've said it much since PAX Unplugged, where our numbers went up for at least for followers. So I talk about anime a lot, and I mostly talk about stuff on Crunchyroll because that's where most of the stuff I like gets licensed. Sometimes stuff gets put on Amazon Prime, and I will watch that there as well, but not as frequently. I mostly watch stuff that is on Crunchyroll, and I should say that I have a membership. I used to have a membership Crunchyroll that I paid for. I now have a Verve membership that was gifted to me for a year because I talk about a lot of stuff on Verve, and one of the people that works there pretty high up in the Verve Crunchyroll workforce gifted me basically a year's subscription. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but it is important for me to tell people that so they can take some of the stuff I say with a grain of salt if they want to. In the same way that Oni, like I am always honest about how Oni has paid for my flight and hotel this year for San Diego Comic Con and Emerald City Comic Con. I'll do work for them in New York Comic Con in exchange for a badge this year. I work with them. I'm friends with them, but I also don't mind but also if I tell you that a book they put out is good, you can take what I say with a grain of salt if you'd like. Um, we don't have it. We don't have a contract or anything like that. I'm not obligated to mention what they make and promote their stuff. I think the Dream Daddy series is incredible. I've only read the first issue. I got it as DLC because you could actually if you have the game on Steam, you can just get the comic as DLC, which I think is very smart. And I honestly just think that's smart. But yeah, I liked Dream Daddy when Oni wasn't putting out a comic that they were making. Um, and then if I had no relationship with Oni, I'd probably still get it because a lot of really good queer artists are working on that anthology, and and Chris Onk is doing all the covers, the digital covers, and he's incredible. So I would probably still be promoting it, even if I didn't have a bunch of connections to it. Uh, H here. All right, great. H's are multicolored leftover piece. You know this is kind of like a high grade because look at this gun. Um, have you noticed? Yes, I have seen the no clip doc, and I think it's fantastic. Uh, Captain Animal. I think it's a really good mini doc, and you really get the sense of what they were dealing with. And as somebody that was excited for the game, but I'm not one to be when's it coming out? You can tell how much they wanted that game to come out and how overwhelmed they were, which makes sense. Um, and I had always wondered, how did Game Grumps come to publish this? Other people know Game Grumps more than I do, right? I'm not a huge follower of their work. One of their guys, he and his wife have done some stuff on her channel, Captain Holly. I'm more of a Captain Holly fan than I am a Ross fan. So I don't know the Grumps at all. So I was just why did they publish this game? What's happening? But I like that they're well, we have the money to make some cool things, and so we're letting people make cool things, and I think that's awesome. I'm also very excited for Boyfriend Dungeon. I think that game looks rad. Um, but yeah, well, like I was saying, my goal is when I'm talking about things that I'm excited about is for you to know if there's a reason for you to know. Also, Pat is if I recommend a comedy show or if people ask me hey, what's a show at UCB I should go check out? I'm in New York. If someone asks me about a good comedy show, I'm gonna mention UCB first and foremost. I work there. I've worked there forever. Everyone understands my gosh darn connection to that company and how maybe I want to take that with a grain of salt a little bit if I'm but also I know what I like, and if I'm promoting a show that's going on there, it's because it's a good show. And I might also promote something else if something else is happening that I think is great and worth of people's time. I might also promote that. But yeah, we all have our biases. I just try to be open about it. Same way that if I ever got sponsored by anybody to do, if a company sent me a kit to build, I would make that very clear with y'all. Hey, I'm building this kit because such and such a company sent it to me to build. I would make sure y'all knew that because that's very important to me. Mr. Bob says, I'm going unplugged, or at least I spent a bunch of money to. Well, Mr. Bob, that's awesome. I hope you'll come to see my panels. But yeah, here's the thing, Mr. Bob. It's just a very chill show. Like obviously, there's only been one of them, right? So there's room for it to have changed a little bit, but I don't think it will. I think it's just a very cool, nice um, event. I had a great time there last year. I'm excited to go, and it was a no-brainer that we were going to do stuff there. And last year we were hoping to do League of Heels, but then PAX Australia really wanted us to come out there, so Aaron went to Australia, and then we chose not to do a show because they're very close to one another. Yeah, Mr. Bob, it is just like a really nice thing. Like you can just go up to just like at East or even at West, you can just like hand over your ID, borrow a board game, sit at a table, and then you can also they also not only do they have like the little signs for people to come up, but also there's like hashtags, so you could tweet out with the hashtag, and there are people like looking at the hashtag, so you could be like hashtag L4G unplugged, and then put the name of the game you have, and like what section you're in, and people could like reply on Twitter, being like, "Oh, shit, you're playing this game? Yeah, I want to play Carcassonne. Hell yeah, I'll be right there." Like it's very cool, and it was just like a very really positive, good vibes. I had a great time, and there's also the cardboard room where they had like old school board games, like I'm talking like Candyland, and then in that room they had a VCR and a TV, and they had VCR games, and I kept threatening to get a group together to play the Enterprise game, and I never had the time. I definitely won't this year because I'll be running a table. But that was so funny that they had uh, VCR games available. I thought that was so cool. All right. So this is coming. This thing is coming together odd. I'm trying to like do it right. Seems weird. Thought this was the front. It's the back. So this is the problem that comes with building a kit that you don't know intimately, right? I've talked about this before. We talked about this in our last build, which was the high grade of the Death Scythe Hell. Um, that I can build that kit in my sleep because I know the front and back of that kit. But this kit I don't know super well, so I'm like, this seems right. Also, I've never built this style of kit. This is like the 100 kit. Like this is new to me, so I'm like gonna have to take my time with it, right? Because I want to make sure that I do everything right on it. Because this is the same thing when I did the first full mechanics, when I did my first real grade. Like I don't know this, like the bells and whistles of these kits, so I gotta be careful. I don't want to fuck anything up. I assume this is just part of the transformation process. That's what it is. And then I need F8. All right. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about this kit is that it transforms, and it's got those two pieces. So eventually we'll build it, and then we'll take it apart, and we'll have the attacker and the nutter, and then we'll show off what the Bawoo nutter is all about. Which now that I look at this kit, that must be why. That's probably why like it looks like the way it does. Oh, I forgot a piece. Shoot. I just realized like this is the front, so why does this look like that? Oh, because it separates. That's why. That's like a part of it. The separating part. I dropped a piece. Pick that up. No big whoop. All right, so we got that together. Now we're building what looks to be the cockpit. So that's pretty straightforward. G is this one. We got a little time left. I'm gonna go right to 11, just because like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling awake. My voice, isn't great, but it's good right now. Um, I was kind of worried about it. As I said, I turned the volume up on my mic, and I'm not pushing my voice as much as I would normally. Um, so hopefully that will be that leads to a pleasant audio experience for you all. Um, because that's important to me. G4, G3. But yeah, I have not watched the show this Gundam is based on, um, so I don't know much about it. I do know that this kit is weird. It's like a cool looking kit, and like I said, I'm a sucker for red. This red, particularly, I think it's just really cool. It looks so good with the dark gray. It's a good combination of colors. All right, and yeah, yeah, we got a little time left, but we'll do some more building here. We're just gonna keep going, and then this is gonna be our next thing for a while. I don't know. Um, it's the 1/100. It's not a lot of sheets. There's not a lot of spruces here. Um, so so we don't have. So it shouldn't take too long, but it also, uh, like I said, like a good indication of how detailed the kit is looking at the weapons, right? So this weapon is this piece, and these two pieces, right? Like this is the weapon. It's a big gun, and it's only two, three, four, five, six pieces. That's a good indication that we're dealing with, we're dealing in bulk, we're dealing big. There's some small pieces and some detail work, obviously, but it doesn't look to be incredibly involved. So, which, I don't mind either way. I like a good detailed build, but I also like working on a lot of different kits. And we have a decent enough little backlog right now. I think I have enough kits for the month. I can always use more. Hint, hint. If you're ever looking at the wish list and you see something you think would be cool for me to build, you know, feel free to pick that up because I'll build it. Um, that is the core of the reline. Um, fit this as tightly as possible. What's the core? I said a bunch of things. But yeah, I feel like there are definitely going to be some tricks to this and some fun stuff to it. That it won't be all simple pieces here, but I'm excited about it. Detail on the outside, not so much on the inside. Oh, Mr. Bob, that's what you mean. Yeah, like I could tell right away that this is F. That's what it is. I could tell right away that this was not going to be um, like the full mechanics line for Iron Blood Orphans, which is like you build the whole skeleton, then you build the outer shell. This is like a lot of like, here's the leg and here's all the armor on top of the leg. Check it out. How cool that is. Like I think that's a lot of what that seems to be this kit style. So, man, I got no problem with that. And push this in here. Said tightly fit this part as far as it will go. So we will do that. All right, so this piece looks like that, but then it looks like that, but then it looks like that. It's kind of like the cockpit, but won't assume that this does something else when separated. Probably is meant to do that, but it locks in place like that, which is pretty cool. And then, those pieces come out. That's cool. So these swinging pieces here actually like attach to that. Oh. Oh. Cool. There's already some tricks to this thing that I'm going to have to really check out when it's time to separate these things and go through the separations. But this looks pretty cool. All right, so we're just gonna add a bunch of stuff to this here. Some E's and some H's. We'll add that. E and H here. But yeah, this is a cool looking kit. I'm excited for it. I like having a long term kit that it was very fun working on that Lego piece. Uh, and that was a bigger, you know, uh, the U-wing was a bigger Lego set than I normally build. So that was really nice. That felt good to work on something like long term. And a good Gundam should take a while, so a good kit should take a bit. I've said this before. Stay tuned for an announcement in the future about me doing some building on a stream that is not mine. I'm still trying to get details of that together. I can't 100% say for sure that's going to happen. Oh, one thing that is going to happen, and that I did not, I'm going to put here in the show description on YouTube, but I'm also going to put in here, is uh, the bonus game stream that's happening is next Monday, which is September 24th, from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. is my monthly bonus game stream. Uh, so that's next bonus game stream is Monday from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's here on this channel on Monday. I'll do an afternoon stream from 3:30 to 5:30. Um, it will be just games. I always do about an hour, if not more, with people in the chat where we play Jackbox party games like Quiplash 2 or we did like Espionage last month, and that was very fun. So I would not be opposed to doing that again. But yeah, we just we play some games, and it's very fun, and we have a good time in chat. And then I usually show some games off as well. So I might do that. Yeah, I usually do like a segment where I'm playing something, and then I do a segment where we play games together. So that'll be the next thing I do on that Monday. I am going to stream this Saturday, my normal stream, but I did want to start promoting the Monday, 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time will be my next game stream. It is my monthly bonus stream that I do every month because I hit $100 on my Patreon. So that was my promise if I hit $100 that I would do a bonus game stream uh, every month. And I really enjoy doing it. So I'd like to continue. We always have a good turnout. Sometimes it's small. Sometimes we don't have enough for like 8 players in Quiplash, but like it's still a good time. So I'm never bummed. Um, and I know the afternoon doesn't work for everybody, but it seems to work for enough people to justify it. Um, and it's a time that I know I can commit, so works pretty good for me. Yeah. See. I gotta line these pieces up right here and put on. We're gonna do 2 more steps. We're gonna put these little gold accents on. I'm gonna figure it out, and then once we get those on, we will put on 2 back pieces, and then we will finish up there. Might have to use tweezers here. Might have to use pliers to connect these 2 pieces together enough to get this on. Sometimes your fingers aren't enough and you need a tool to assist, which I'm fine with. Oh, got one on, and that'll hopefully make it easier to get the other one on the other side. These are like accent pieces, but also load bearing because they keep these 2 sections together. Just even if I can get it on the right spot. As always, 2 hours is my limit for building. People have asked if I ever was going to do more, if I was going to do 3 hour streams, and I know that the answer is not my current level. Maybe if I was doing Lego, I could do longer, but especially working on a model kit, like 2 hours of streaming is plenty. If I ever streamed longer, I would have to, do like an hour of something else, and I don't know what that would be, and I don't know why that would be that. Uh, so yeah, no. Right now, no. Okay, we're actually going to stop there, and I will. Oh no, I'll do the back pieces now because they're part of the step, and then we will quit for the evening. I'll be back on Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time, as always. Doing my building the stream for y'all. I hope you'll be able to come back and watch that. If you're watching the YouTube archive, leave a comment. I don't ask for that. I don't ask for comments on YouTube that often, but it might help people be able to find the streams so they can maybe they would enjoy it. I don't know, but they won't know if they would like it unless there's an opportunity for them to find it. So if you watch on YouTube, go ahead and give that a like so that maybe somebody else will be able to check it out. This goes like this. This goes like that. And that's going to do it. Thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for the people that came in towards the end. I do very much appreciate it when folks stop by. Even if you don't contribute to chat, you're still contributing by being here. And so I do appreciate that very much. Let's see if Jared is still streaming. He is no longer streaming. Okay. But also, you could check out Fantasy Zone. I'm going to put, and watch some of his videos. That's Jared Ray. Peace out. Thank you very much, Sling. Mr. Bob, thank you. The Bawoo. Yes, look at this. We already got some of our Bawoo is already completed. We're making good work on our Bawoo. We'll make even more work on Saturday. So thanks so much and have a great rest of your Thursday. Goodbye.